People always said the forests outside Kaduna were quiet. Too quiet. My uncle used to warn me that silence in the bush meant something was listening. I never believed him until last month. It started when I took a job with the forestry department. Basic survey work, mapping tree lines, cataloging plant species. Nothing unusual. Until I saw the hole. A round opening in the side of a low hill, half hidden by vines. Cool air was flowing out like the forest was breathing. When I stepped closer, I heard it. Not wind, not water. Whispering. Soft, many voices. So faint it could have been imagination. Except the whispers knew my name. I radioed my partner, Musa. Told him I found an unlisted cave. He laughed and said, "You and your ghost stories, Chinedu, just mark it and move on." But I couldn't move on. I left a marker and promised myself I'd come back after work alone. When I told an old hunter in the nearby village about it, his smile vanished. He said there were places in that forest where sound travels wrong, where you hear things that resemble your voice. He told me, if the cave speaks first, you don't answer. I laughed it off. Now I wish I hadn't. 2 evenings later, I went back. The forest felt different, heavier. No birds. No wind. Even my footsteps sounded muffled, like the trees were swallowing the noise. When I reached the hill, the marker I left, bright orange ribbon, was gone. In its place, carved into the dirt, were 3 words. Don't come back. I froze. Someone or something had been there. But curiosity is a disease. I pushed through the vines and aimed my flashlight inside. The beam disappeared into blackness that seemed to absorb the light. That's when I heard it again. The same whispers, but louder now. They weren't calling my name this time. They were laughing. I told myself it was echo air movement. Science. Nothing else. So I stepped inside. The temperature dropped immediately. The ground was damp, soft, like something had been seeping from below. I took maybe 10 steps when my flashlight started flickering. Every time it blinked, the tunnel looked smaller. Walls closing in. Voices growing clearer. One phrase stood out, crisp between the murmurs. "We never left." That was when the beam died completely. And in the dark, right beside my ear, someone whispered, why did you come back?" The dark didn't feel empty. It felt aware. Every drop of water, every breath, came back at me like something was copying the sound, half a second late. I turned on my phone light. The beam reached barely a meter ahead. Stone walls slick and black, breathing mist. I marked my path with chalk on the wall. But when I looked back, the marks were gone, replaced by faint scratches that read, "You're not alone." The whispers had changed. Different tones now, men, women, even children. I caught words between the murmurs, Hausa, English, then something older. One voice repeated a phrase that chilled me. "We follow the sound of your fear." I pressed deeper, thinking maybe there was an exit on the other side. But the cave floor angled downward, and the air grew thick, smelling like wet iron. I checked my phone clock, 6:47 p.m. I remember because that was the last time it showed any signal. The next time I looked, only minutes later, it said 2:13 a.m. My battery indicator had jumped from 78% to 15. Somehow, I'd been there for hours, or time was folding inside the cave. When I turned around, the entrance was gone. The tunnel curved differently, like it had rearranged itself. I started recording audio, proof I wasn't crazy. But when I played it back, there was another voice speaking with mine. It says I wasn't crazy. Exactly the same words. Just half a breath later, but older, tired. I whispered, "Who are you?" And the echo whispered back, "Who are you?" My light flickered again and caught something on the wall, handprints, Dozens. Small, large, some halfway melted into the rock. They glistened wet, like they'd been pressed moments ago. As I stepped closer, a few of them began to move, slowly sliding down the stone. The whispers rose into words. Touch the wall and remember. Against every instinct, I reached out. The rock was warm, pulsing. And for a split second, I saw flashes of people. Musa, the old hunter, even my mother, each whispering my name in a chorus of regret. I screamed and stumbled back, fell hard on the cave floor. When I hit the ground, something laughed my voice. It repeated what I'd just said, tone for tone, then whispered, "Go deeper if you want to leave." I didn't know what was worse, the thought that the cave was alive, or that it was learning to be me. I ran, or at least I tried to. Every turn looked the same. Every breath echoed back like another heartbeat chasing me. I followed the faint glow of my dying phone light until it revealed something new. A passage with carvings. Not words. Faces. Dozens of them, carved right into the rock. I shut, mouths open in silent screams. And then, one of the stone faces opened its eyes. They weren't stone anymore. They blinked. Each set of eyes followed me as I moved. One of them looked exactly like me. Same scar above the eyebrow, same tired eyes. I reached toward it, and it whispered, in my voice, "Don't leave me here again." My flashlight burst. Darkness slammed over me like water closing in. I crawled through the dark. No more chalk, no more light, just instinct. And whispers. Always the whispers. The mouth of the cave. But this time, they didn't sound angry. They sounded sad. Like they were mourning. I finally felt air, fresh air. The mouth of the cave. I ran, stumbling toward the light, and collapsed into the forest. Just earth, moss, and trees. I turned back. The cave mouth was gone, like it had never been there. I laughed, half mad, half relieved. Then I noticed something. My phone buzzed in my pocket. The screen lit up again. One new voice recording. Timestamp 2 hours after I entered the cave. It was my own voice, but older, slower, and the words made my blood freeze. If you're hearing this, it means you made it out. But not all of you did. Whatever walks back in your body, don't let it reach anyone you love. I dropped the phone. It kept playing from the ground, and I realized the reflection on the screen wasn't me. It was something wearing my face. It kept saying, "We follow the sound of your fear." I ran the whole way back to town. Didn't stop until I reached my car. By the time I got home, the sun was up. I thought it was over, until I went to take a shower and saw muddy handprints on the bathroom wall. The same ones from inside the cave. Then my phone buzzed again. A new message from an unknown number. "You left me there." When I looked in the mirror, my reflection smiled before I did. That was 3 days ago. Since then, people say they've seen someone who looks like me walking back toward the forest at night. I lock my doors now. I keep the lights on. But when the power goes out, I still hear it. Go deeper if you want to leave.